Hello, my name is Johanna, Nesquin born and raised. I am putting up my first YouTube video after hours and hours and hours of listening to so many other content creators over the years, especially in the last couple years. It has been one of the most valuable tools for me to feel connected to a community of like-minded individuals, even though I'm nestled on the coast of Oregon and fairly secluded from the hubbub of the world, so to speak. I've taken my big break from mainstream media and used YouTube to learn what the issues are and what is going on. It's been who I have listened to washing dishes, folding laundry, driving. That's how I like to sort of occupy my time. And I'm very grateful to everybody. And over the course of time, I'll definitely share the channels and the people who have inspired me the most. And I'm always learning and finding new people. And of course, you've probably all also seen videos of people really encouraging anyone over 50, yes, that's me, I'm 51, to start their channel, to not be shy, to speak on work experience, other life lessons, sort of anything that comes to mind. And so here I am wanting to give it a go. It's January 20th, Trump's inauguration day, 2025. And boy, I just thought to myself, if he is going to sign 200 executive orders on within the first couple hours of being sworn in for the second time as our United States president, I certainly could check off the box of my intention for several months now to get my own video up there. A little bit about myself. I am a mother. I have a 21-year-old, a 16-year-old, and if you can believe it, yes, a 2-year-old. She is a gift from God. My new husband, Greg, and I were very surprised a couple years ago and have just allowed this incredible blessing to transform our lives and deepen our commitment to each other, to family, to where we live, to community, and of course to business. So I have some advice, or shall I say, take it or leave it. These are my learnings and gleanings and what I'll share on this channel from being a wife, a mother, self-employed. We own our own landscaping business. We're going into our 5th year. Very proud of how it's grown. And boy, is the coast of Oregon one of the best places to be in this line of work. My background, all my years, self-taught, QuickBooks for accounting, a lot of, and FileMaker Pro and database stuff. So I have a very administrative background, a lot with nonprofits, some small business, and with a school. I've been able to apply all of that to our own business, and my husband and I work, it's kind of a 24/7, 7-day-a-week thing, right? When you own your own business, you have to keep all of your customers and your to-do list very relevant, along with all of your personal aspirations of, saving money or paying down debt. Trying to do both at the same time, right? This is, we have had quite a few challenges in these years since we abruptly left Oakland, California and moved up to the coast of Oregon. where, as I said at the top, I was born and raised here and came home. I had never felt like I could come home, to be honest, because I was never, once I left for school from this small community, I really did not ever visualize what I would be able to do to come back here and make money. And once I had left, I just I was very removed. I'd come back for a week for summertime family vacation, and I just never saw and never had any I mean, I love the land, I love my beach, my ocean, but I couldn't imagine how I would make a living if I were to come back here. And I didn't really give it ever any thought, to be straightforward. But once COVID came in, 2020, we moved. That's a story to get into, but my old relationship ended, a new one began, and suddenly I am back home. And thank goodness my husband's 30-plus years in landscaping was absolutely perfectly suited for starting a business, a landscaping maintenance service company here on the coast. So this has been a huge learning in lots of different ways for me. And in the days to come, I look forward to sharing bits and, all of how that has come together. And of course, please put comments down under this video in terms of things that you would be interested to learn or know. I can imagine doing some videos very specifically showing you my yard books, database and financial accounting system and planning system, talking to you too about how my husband, who doesn't do computers at all, we use a big calendar and work through that in the evenings and in the mornings together so that we can plan and provide for our clients, for our customers. So, he's 56, I'm 51. We've got a 2-year-old, and so I'm also navigating working from home, being a parent, both of us just reflecting on things that we wish we could have done when we had our children in our first chapter of life, and now all of the things that we had thought about and regretted doing or not doing, and how to implement that with her here. So probably this will become a space and place where I can reflect. I do have, about a year ago, I was watching a couple YouTube videos and realized that I have ADHD. I'm one of these older women in my 50s, who was not diagnosed or ever had it mentioned to me by anyone that this is something that I have all the characteristics for. And it's been a really interesting year learning from other women their tips and tricks, acknowledging that they have ADHD, some formation of that. My husband always likes to say PTQ. I mean, all of these letters get a little jumbly. Point being, now I'm reassessing how I go about my day, how I establish routines, how I give myself build confidence in what I've set out to do, not get feeling too discouraged. And the other element I'll say and speak on is I'm really weaving in to my life a chapter in my relationship with God, as I have never read the Bible before. So the first day of the year, this year, I committed to that, and I've been listening to it. That I've found is much, much more effective for me to have somebody read it and take it in, as opposed to me reading it and then I go back and work on it. And I'm also in a women's Bible group looking specifically at the book of James. So I will be sharing on this channel my explorations in all of these arenas. Somebody who just loves community. I am so grateful for where I live, this beautiful Oregon coast. And I have a lot of dreams and desires of things that I want to do. And in a practical way, I would love to be able to help others, especially young people, get a sense of how to get some real hands-on skills and know how to do bookkeeping, budgeting, and keep track of data, keep track of a calendar items, and how to use the tools that are out there or that I've discovered. And hopefully, and I'm sure with starting this, I will be continuing to learn a lot as YouTube continues to bring more people onto their platform and encourage new voices and encourage the fact that it does not have to be professional video or scripted, or it can be, I've definitely noticed the welcome invitation to have folks like myself speak from my heart about life, about work and making money and what that means. So now that I've gotten a little bit, maybe too much of an intro, I'm going to dive in right now to the nuts and bolts of working for yourself. So it's about getting up every single day with an intention on your mind to, little by little, bit by bit, my husband's line, to plug away and get stuff done. And I think that's one of the biggest things I've had to adjust as a mom second time around, to accept that I'm going to have a long list when I go to sleep at night of what I want to get done. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to do my best to chip away at it. But by the end of the day, that list is going to have a few things crossed off and a lot more added to it. And I cannot allow myself to get really down if I didn't get all of the things done. Now, my very much younger self was very ambitious, and my first few jobs that I stayed at for quite a while, I gave and gave and gave of myself. I mean, I just would put in extra hours like you wouldn't believe, because I was young. I was teaching myself these platforms. I hadn't gone to school. I did get a college degree, but I didn't get it in accounting, and I didn't get it in database management. And we all know that as parents, we don't go to school to be taught how to parent, or all of, and just, I have to throw in here as well, the To Die For documentary. I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I've known that it's coming. And my excitement for Trump's inauguration and my diving in and listening to so much in these last 4 years about health all started with being introduced to Del Bigtree, the High Wire, and subsequently Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and then following his campaign and Nicole Shanahan. And I just am in love with their passion and their commitment and their desire to change this planet and heal this planet and heal the individuals, the animals, and the land. And I, in my little way, want to support that. But I've just learned so much. Yet the gap between learning it and then actually implementing it into your day-to-day routine in your life, that is an overwhelm in and of itself. It, like this whole laundry list of what you now can't have in your cupboard and in your fridge. And as a mother who did not question all of these matters as when my first two children were born, and the regrets I have as a result, make, this go round with my daughter Catherine, so I'm just so much more aware. So with that being said, I guess I will just reiterate that I want to give my best practical advice, and I hope that it can provide some benefit to you who is listening to this, to others. If not, if this channel doesn't get any views, you know what? No big deal. I'm at least accomplishing my goal, which is when I speak things out loud, I make more sense of it. And so for me, communication in a conversation format and is most valuable. So I'm imagining my audience is another mother like myself who is just wanting to do the best by her children, by her husband, by her friends and community at a local immediate level. And I just hope to, share things that I've learned and meet new people through this process. It is not, I don't get technically a paycheck. And perhaps this YouTube channel will bring that income source flowing to me. So I have an intention to grow this channel. I have an intention to provide information that's of value so that people watch it, and eventually, whenever that happens, I can bring some revenue in and work on paying down the debt that I do have, that I did bring with me from prior chapter in my life, as well as our landscape business, the debt we went into in order to just get our business off the ground and going. So that was a combination of vehicles and equipment, and honestly had to take some months off in between there, and moving costs and all of that. So without going into detail, we all know debt accumulates, and it's one thing I want to eliminate this year. And so this challenge to myself to follow through on the commitments I've made as I've watched other YouTubers ask for the commitment to start a channel. I'm finally decided I'm going to declare this Trump's inauguration day to be when I bite the bullet and do it. So this is a gorgeous week on the Oregon coast. It's very cold. My husband is out in the elements, working on his own, just slowly but surely getting it done. And I guess the biggest thing when I look back over the last few years that I'm really honestly most proud of, because it's something that I was not able to be effective at when in all of my other working, is really keep track of, and not in too detailed a way, but really keep track of what we accomplished in a day. So I keep track of on a system called Yard Books, which I will talk about more. But I really keep track of how we spend our day. I keep track of if it was a totally rainy off day and we were just in the house, or if it was a day where we got to reach and touch 8 customers, or we drove around to some of our customers because it was really rainy and we needed to just assess what is going to need to happen the next time we go. And I just do my best to invoice promptly. So whether it's on the set day for that customer or after a service visit, getting those invoices off via email and not allowing there to be a backup, because I think one of my biggest habits that I've had to constantly be aware of is an inclination to procrastinate. So I'm going to leave it there, because now I can proudly say that I have finally stopped procrastinating. I have created my very first video for my Nesquin Born and Raised channel, and I will be preparing and thinking about how to be even more on point with my new video tomorrow. Thank you for your time and for listening. And although the creators that I've been watching will likely not see this channel, I want to give a big shout out of thank you to them, and a big shout out and thank you to Nicole Shanahan, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump, and all of the teams that are behind the scenes working with them. So I'll leave it there and appreciate your time.